we're going to talk about compound probability. Specifically, we're talking about problems where we have to think about the word or. And for the most part, you just need to use common sense, but you have to be careful, right? So that's kind of the bottom line with what we're going to talk about here. Be careful when you have probability using the word or. Okay, so let's take a look at this example here. So we have a box with the following playing cards, right? There's 18 cards here total. Okay, the cards are shuffled in this box, and we're going to pick one card from the box. What's the probability that we're going to pick a diamond or a spade? So what's the probability of picking a diamond or picking a spade? Okay, so let's first think about what probability is, right? The probability is the number of ways for the top, the number of ways that we can pick a diamond or a spade, and the bottom is the total number of outcomes, the total number of ways, in this case, to pick a card from the box, right? Total number of ways to pick a diamond or a spade out of the total number of ways to pick a card, right? So this one is pretty simple. How many ways are there to pick a diamond or a spade? Well, there's 2 diamonds here, and there's 3 spades, so there's 5 total ways, right? Or you could think of it as this: 2 ways plus 3 ways, right? Which makes sense. There's a total of 5 ways. 5 ways out of 18. Right? So that probability is really simple. Okay? But I'm going to warn you, right? Don't always assume it's going to be that simple when we have the word or. Okay? Right? We can do some addition, but you got to be careful. All right, so let's look at this one and let's be careful, right? So we've got the same box of 18 cards, right? Let's say we shuffled up and we pick one card from the box. This time, what's the probability of picking a heart or an even numbered card? So what's the probability of getting a heart or an even? Okay, so for the top, we need to think about what's the total number of ways to pick a heart or an even, right? And the bottom is the total number of ways to pick a card. All right, well, let's take a look. If I were to look at my cards here, like how many hearts do I have? Right, well, here are the hearts. Right, so how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so we've got 9 hearts. And then how many evens do we have? Well, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Did I miss all the evens? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 evens. Okay? So you might think, oh yeah, so is 9 hearts 9 evens? So 9 plus 9 out of 18. Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 out of 18? I didn't circle 18 things. What's the problem? Right? Yes, it's true that there were 9 hearts. And yes, it's true that there were 9 evens. But if you take a look at my diagram here, if you count it this way, we've counted some of them twice, right? Right here, these 2 hearts were both hearts and even. Same thing here, the 4 and the 10, they were counted twice. You see, I circled them twice, right? And right here, this 6 got circled twice. So if you want to think about it with addition, right, you got to be careful because we've circled these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twice. So I would have to subtract the ones I counted twice, right? It's all the hearts and then all the evens, but I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them twice. So that's 9 plus 9 is 18 minus 5 is 13 out of 18. Right? And in this case, our sample here is pretty small. We could just count to double check, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? 13 out of 18. Okay? So this one you can just see really easily that there are 13 that are either hearts or even. But again, what you really got to be careful of is when you're adding it really fast, you got to subtract the ones that you counted twice. All right, you're going to try this one. You roll a 10-sided die once. What is the probability that you roll a multiple of 2 or a multiple of 3. Okay, go ahead and pause and think about how you could calculate this. All right, so let's double check, see how you did, right? Well, if I think about a 10-sided die, you could get a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay, so if I want to figure out the probability of getting a multiple of 2 or a multiple of 3, right? Well, let's take a look. What are the multiples of 2? Well, that's the evens. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right? Multiples of 3, what are those? Let's use a different color here. Multiples of 3, that's 3, 6, and 9. Right? So you might think, oh, so how many ways are there to get a multiple of 2 or a multiple of 3? You might think, oh, there's 5 multiples of 2, and then there's 3 multiples of 3. So 5 plus 3. But careful, if you look at our picture, we counted this one twice. Right? So you got to subtract 1. Right? So 5 plus 3 minus 1 out of 10. Okay, so that's 8 minus 1, that's 7 out of 10. Right? Which makes sense because you just take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, I want to say one more thing about this. Some of you might be just thinking about this and thinking, oh, it's so obvious that it's 7 out of 10. I don't really need to do this. And that's totally fine. Okay. Again, the point of this video is just to show you why you have to be careful and don't just add things up without thinking, because sometimes you might count things twice.